Fast X is Dom and Gang's best version of Avengers Infinity War. In this video, we're going to go over the ending of Fast 10 and also explain how it very much sets up the future, whether it be just a part 2 or a part 3. So one of the main things this movie does is split up the gang very, very early on. So at the end of the movie, skipping to the end, we have a couple different groups we need to keep track of. We have Roman, we have Tej, we have Han, and we have Ramsey all aboard a plane heading to Dom. That's one group. We also then have Dom, his son, and John Cena's character, Jacob, along with Dante, all in another area. We also have Letty and Cypher teaming up in prison. We have Jason Statham's character of Deckard Shaw going after his mom. And we have Mia heading to Brian and her kids. Now, the ending of the film revolves around a couple key twists, one of which is John Cena's character of Jacob sacrificing himself so that Dom can get his son back. So as far as we know, Jacob does die there. Now, this franchise has brought characters back from the dead many, many times, and in fact, it does so later on in this film. But Jacob, right there towards the end of the movie, meets his demise. We then also have Agent Ames, who works for the agency, somebody that Kurt Russell's character, Mr. Nobody, was a part of, somebody that Brie Larson's character of his daughter is also a part of, and the big twist is Ames betraying Dom and actually being part of Dante's group. Ames was actually an associate of Dante all the way back in Fast 5, so how they kind of retroactively said Dante was the son of the villain of Fast 5, well, they also retroactively twice made Ames also be a character that was working with them back then. So they have a partnership. He was working for the agency, but he kind of double-crossed Dom. Technically, he double-crossed Dom 2 times, and he's the one who actually shoots down the plane that Han and that group is a part of. So Han, Roman, Tej, and Ramsey are on their way to Dom. Ames shoots the plane down. Now, it doesn't show anybody dying there. It does show the plane rounding a corner and then exploding, shows Dom's face, in sadness, but I absolutely do not believe any of those 4 characters died there. In fact, the last thing that you see of those 4 characters is them kind of making a beeline towards multiple cars in the back of the plane. I do believe they board one of those cars to get off. As for the fate of Dom, he gets his son back by Jacob helping him out in a sacrificial role. He ends up rolling down a dam in an incredible Fast and Furious-like sequence, but then the movie actually stops there. So Dom and his son are at the bottom of the dam as it's about to be blown up by Dante, and the movie cuts Dom's part of the story right there. We then cut back to Letty and Cypher, who have made it out of their prison in Antarctica, and they make it to the submarine that actually Cypher tried to hack and take in Fast 8. I guess that she got it back somehow, even though it was taken from her, but they get to that submarine, and who else but Giselle, Gal Gadot's character from Fast 4, 5, and 6. She comes out and you see her. Nothing is said other than Letty not believing that Giselle could actually be alive, and their scene cuts as well. Then we skip to the after credit scene, which is actually The Rock's character in Luke Hobbs getting a phone call from Dante telling him, well, look, Dom drove the car. Dom knocked me into the water back in Fast 5, but you're the one who shot and killed my father, so I'm coming after you, to which The Rock takes off his uniform and basically says, come get me, I'm pretty easy to find, and the movie ends there. So to quickly summarize, again, I truly believe this is their version of Infinity War. I also very much am now believing that Jason Momoa's character of Dante is that mysterious voice that you hear in Hobbs and Shaw. We get a couple key things in that movie that voice knows who Luke Hobbs is. It was somebody that knew of him a long time ago. Luke may not know who he is, right? It's that kind of history. And then you get this phone call with, Dante and Luke Hobbs. I do believe that Dante was probably the voice, and so basically the main villain of Hobbs and Shaw, just like he now is the main villain of Fast 10 and what's to come. So like I said, the entire group is split up because Jason Momoa's character is all about control. He knows pretty much everything about everybody else, so he uses control to get what he wants. So any of his goons, right, that's on his squad, he basically just goes after their family, holds them at gunpoint, tells the goons to do whatever he says, or he'll take them out. So Dante seems to be the main, ultimate villain of the Fast and Furious franchise, and everybody else is split. So his gang is going after Jason Statham, Deckard Shaw's character, his mom. So you have that family kind of isolated. Mia, you had troops of the agency go after her. She escaped, so her, Brian, and their kids are separated as well. You have the group that was on the plane that obviously are not dead, and they're right around where Dom is, right? And then you have Dom at the bottom of a dam that's about to explode. Everybody in their own way, I suppose, is on their own, and it sets the stage, I believe, for every single one of those groups to come together to fight Dante in either, again, one more movie or two more movies. Plus, one final thing to throw out there is no way Han and that gang die, considering you bring Giselle back. You're not bringing Giselle back to then kill Han again, as well as the rest of that team. So I do believe everybody has to get back together. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.